Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here. I am working on a card for the challenge over at Cut It Up. And our theme is Colors of Fall or Autumn. And you must use a die cut in your project. Well, I had this really wonderful little image from Kitten Clouder. And here he is. Isn't he so cute, this little squirrel? It's one of the free images that Elise gave out. And I colored him up and I thought, oh, I want to use him because squirrels to me, although they're around all summer, they just seem so fall to me. And I thought, let's color him up in some red brown and add some more orange to the card. But I wanted to keep it simple so it really showed off this little squirrel. So what I did is I came in and I put this little flourish in there, and I moved the pine cone, which is sitting right back here. I moved it, copied it, and added it right up through this little flourish. So let's talk about how I put this together in Cricut Design Space. First thing I like to do when I'm creating a card in Cricut Design Space is pull in a couple of rectangles. That's going to represent my card base and then this first layer where I'll be doing my creating. So I'm going to pull in a square. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate that. This bottom square will be the size of my card base, 4.25 by 5.5. And in this case, I'd like it to be this sort of auburn brown color there. Now this second one, I want to be sort of inset there, or a little bit smaller, I should say. I want it to be 4 point by 5.25. I would like that white, so I turn it white by clicking the square right here, clicking the white, and there's my white, and that's where I'll be doing my creating now. Now that I have these in place, I can go ahead and select what's going to go on my card. Well, I know that I want this flourish that I found in Cricut Design Space, Home Accents, and of course my little squirrel here from Kitten Clouder. All right, so let's take our little squirrel. And the first thing we want to do is we want to take away the pine cone. So let's start there. First thing I'm going to do is come up. I'm going to hit Shapes, select a circle, bring my circle in. I'm going to make this a little bigger so we can see a little better. You're going to come in and you are going to lay this right over that pine cone. Then you select your circle and you select your squirrel and you click slice. Now we're going to come in and take away the circle, and we're going to take this away, and there's our pine cone for later. So the next thing we want to do is turn this squirrel around. So I'm going to select my squirrel, and I am going to come up here to flip. I want to flip him horizontally, so I'm going to click flip. Okay, now he has been flipped, and now I'm going to add an offset to him. First, let's make him a little bit smaller here. So let's make him about 2.45. That's probably a good size, or maybe even 2.5. There we go. 2.5 by 2.4. And let's go ahead and add that offset. So I already have him selected. I left click offset, and it's coming up to 0.042, which I like, but it's not going to automatically go there. It'll automatically go somewhere around here probably. So what you're going to do is you're just going to click on that dot and move it. Now I want to move it one more. So I'm going to go ahead and click the dot, use the arrows on my keyboard, arrow one time left, click that dot again, and now I'm at 0.042. I'm going to hit apply. It comes in black. I don't want it to be black. So I'm going to come up, change the black. I'm clicking that black square. Now I'm going to click the white. And there it is. It's already centered. So now I'm going to come in, select it all, and say flatten. So now my little squirrel is ready. I might take him down just a little bit smaller there. There we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move this over. Now we want this flourish. I don't need this green, lighter green one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ungroup them, take this one away, and I'm going to delete it. And I don't need this circle anymore, so I'm going to delete that too. Now I have the two pieces that I need for this. However, they're not quite sized correctly to fit the way I want them to fit. But if I make it really big, like if I make it bigger this way, that's not going to work either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out the size that I need it to be on the bottom. All right, so here's my little squirrel. He's going to sit about right there. I know I want this underneath, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, just a tad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to chop this apart. So I'm going to go get a circle, bring it over, I'm going to line it up right there. I'm going to make it oblong there. I'm going to select these two and I'm going to slice again. I'm going to get rid of all of that, don't need it. I'm going to bring this in and that's going to sit right about right in here. And this one needs to be bigger, right? Because if we look back up here at this one, kind of stretches up almost to the top here. There we go. And I also want it to face the other direction. Remember how we did that? We came up here to flip. We're going to mirror it, and there we go. So we're going to make this. We know that our squirrel is going to sit right here. Let's bring him to the front. We can see exactly how that's going to fall now. Right. Something like that, okay? And maybe we'd like it just a smidge bigger so that's hiding behind there. All right. Then we have our pine cones over it. So I'm going to right click, duplicate, right click, duplicate. Make this one a little smaller. I can toggle it around. Stick it, bring it to the front first, right here by right clicking and then left clicking my little pine cone. And let's toggle this one around. Again, I'm left clicking. A little smaller maybe. I'm just eyeballing this right now. And this one faces way over here. A little smaller. And about right in there. Now, I could have just left these in a color, but I decided I really wanted to color them with my Copic markers and get some different colors going on. So what I did is I selected it. I came over here to this square and I chose a very, very light gray. Now, knowing that I'm doing this in oranges, if I were to do this again, I think I would have come in here to my orange, to be perfectly honest. Bumped it way down here like so. And done it that way. Then I would choose this one and do it exactly the same color. So knowing that I did this in oranges, I think I would have gone with a light orange instead of a light gray because I feel like it did skew my color just a little bit. So since I have the control over what color to use, I might as well use the color that I'm going to be coloring with my Copics. Let's bring our squirrel back and let's just put him in, put this back behind, and let's just see if we like it the way it looks. I know he's going to stick off just a little bit back here. His little tail, I want it to stick off. Looks like everything's going to be great. So let's go ahead, pull these away. I'm going to select all of this. So I'm going to select all of my pine cones, my flourishes, and the card. And I'm going to come over here and say flatten. Now you'll see you can barely see this, but that's okay because that's what we want. We want to barely see it so that we can color that in. All right. So this is back and this is back to the front. And now he can pop off with a little bit of cereal box, right? And be popped off the front of the card and have just a little bit of dimension. He also creates a die cut for us, which we must have for the Cut It Up challenge because it's all about using die cuts. So that's why we definitely did not want to print him on here and have him as part of the actual card front because we needed that die cut for the challenge. All right. So what happens now is I simply color him up and then I put the card together. Here we are at the craft table. I have that cute little squirrel die cut, the piece that I did in that very light color, and I have some DCWV cardstock called Autumn Melody, along with some Spellbinders Gems that I already had colored in an orange color. I'm going to use a little bit of cereal box here to lift him off. Now I'm coming in with ATG and I'm just applying the card front to my card base. Now as you can see, the inside of that is white because the back of that cardstock was white, so it worked out perfectly. Adding a little ATG along with a little Fabric-Tac, and now I glue my little squirrel to the front. I could have basically left it here, but I decided, you know, let's add a few little sparkles, a few little orange gems, just to decorate it up a little bit. And if you watch many of my videos, you know the gems mean the card is almost complete. Hey, thanks for joining me. I so appreciate your time. Come join us at the Cut It Up Challenge. We'd love to see you there. Questions or comments, leave them below. Always happy to help. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.